Hi everyone. I'm here with author Nikki Murphy, and give us just a minute, and we're going to be going live on Amazon. And if you want to join us on Amazon, go to bit.ly/GALYN. I forgot how to spell my own name. Can you believe it?
It happens.
So if you want to catch us on Amazon, the reason I want you here on Amazon as well is so that you can see the products and the book, Nikki's book that we're here to talk about. Home for the holiday. I'm sorry, reading the wrong thing. Home for Hurricanes, not the holiday.
Yes.
Home for Hurricanes, a memoir of resilience in poetry and prose. So everyone, I want to welcome you to our live stream show. This is being streamed on YouTube, on Facebook, as well as Amazon Live. But I really want you to join us on Amazon. Go to bit.ly/Galyn, GALYN, so that you can see the products and services that we recommend to you today that goes along with Nikki Murphy's book, Home for Hurricanes, a memoir of resilience in poetry and prose. So let me tell you a little bit about Nikki. Nikki Murphy is an awarded diversity and inclusion leader, real estate investor, and best-selling author for the book, Home for Hurricanes, a memoir of resilience in poetry and prose, which is available wherever books are sold, including Amazon. So if you're on Amazon Live right now, go check out the book. We have it in the carousel below. Nikki uses her writing and speaking to educate, inspire, and empower diverse people to live more abundantly, triumph over trauma, and design a purpose-driven life. Nikki resides on Long Island with her husband and 5-year-old son. If you want to learn more about Nikki, go to nikki.murphy.com, on Instagram or Facebook, Mrs. Nikki Murphy. So let's jump right in, Nikki. Can you tell us what is the definition of resilience? That's the name of your book, A Memoir of Resilience. So what is resilience?
Yeah, so resilience traditionally is defined as recovering quickly from something. So the ability to recover quickly. However, I think of it more so as not just bouncing back or recovering quickly, but also doing so in a way that addresses the thing that knocked you down in the first place. So I don't want resilience if it looks like neglect, if it looks like just rolling past whatever issues come your way. But I really like resilience that looks like tackling those issues head on so that they don't come up and impede your progress later on.
Awesome. So my next question for you is, what is your story, and how did it lead to you writing this memoir?
Yeah, so I came from a neighborhood on Long Island called Wyandanch, New York, for those that are familiar. It was a kind of a tough neighborhood, but I came from that neighborhood and went on to college and ultimately graduated from NYU and studied finance and started my professional career in corporate. And I was the first in my family to go to college, first in my family to start this corporate career. So I had no idea what I was getting into. I had experienced traumatic experiences, hardships. I talk about sexual assault in the book. And for me coming into this space, in this world, and feeling like I don't know if there's anyone else like me in this space, anyone who's been through the things that I've been through, and really wanting to showcase that story here so that other young professionals, other young girls, other women could see themselves through my story. So that was the impetus behind sharing ultimately in this book, Home for Hurricanes.
Awesome. So it says poetry and prose. So is all poems or it's story?
It's primarily poetry. And there is some prose, some longer kind of prose poems that can lead more towards prose, where I'm telling stories about people in my family, like my mother or my father, and a certain memory. And so those read more narratively, like prose. But for the most part, it is a poetry collection, and a very accessible poetry collection. So it should be something that's easy to read for a poetry lover and someone who's not as familiar with poetry.
Right. So I want to read this description that's here on Amazon. So you guys go to Amazon right now. If you're not watching from Amazon Live right now, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, come on over to Amazon and get the book. It says, abandoned by her hustling father, raised by her devoted mother, then battered by the winds of loss, heartbreak, and sexual assault, awarded diversity and inclusion leader and author Nikki Murphy exposes the undercurrents of resilience and faith that undergird her success in this riveting memoir in verse. Home for Hurricanes provides a sobering portrayal of both the jubilance and hardening of Black girls emanating from the ghettos, and Murphy celebrates their resolve to build free and whole lives. In her debut poetry collection, Murphy lays bare the impact of rape culture, examines notions of innocence and responsibility, and invites readers to witness her hard-fought journey to find healing, love, and gratitude. No matter where you are in weathering the storms of trauma, you will be reminded that you are built to withstand. This sounds like a powerful piece of work, Nikki. This is incredible. Oh my goodness.
I put my heart and soul in it.
So why poetry?
Yeah, so it ended up being a poetry book. I write poetry, but I also write in other forms. I write in prose, I write essays, but it ended up being poetry, this book, because a lot of the experiences that I had been through, I actually wrote out in poem form years prior. So in 2017, I took a hiatus from work. And in that time, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. I was considering a career change from being an auditor to going into diversity and inclusion. And as part of that, I had taken this time off. And in that time, I'd started writing poetry. And a lot of the experiences that were the genesis of this book came out of that period. So I wrote a ton of poetry about some childhood experiences, some experiences I'd had in college, some poems just about being Black in America. And ultimately, when it came time to write this book, when I got the idea in 2019, as I was on the train commuting to Manhattan to go to my job where I was corporate vice president of diversity and inclusion. And on the way to the office, it just dawned on me, and it was like out of nowhere, this idea came that I should just pull all the poems that I'd written into a book and publish it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but I guess I could do that. It doesn't take a lot of work. And so it doesn't seem like it would be a lot of work, I thought. And then when I went back to go look at those poems, I saw that there was some poetry that I could pull together into a collection. But then over the past year and a half, I really ended up rewriting almost 90% of the content so that it's all new. And only very few traces of the old poems are in this collection. But so I say that God tricked me into writing this book because I thought it would be this easy lift. And then it ended up being this year and a half long process.
Wow, that is incredible. So, Nikki, I'm just going to tell some good accessories that would go with your book. This is what I found on Amazon. I'm going to share it with everyone. So this is, I love this. These are some socks. I'm reading. I think these are so cute.
I love them. I love them.
I mean, oh my goodness, like they come in different colors. I mean, that's so cute. I would love to have that. They're ankle socks, stretchy, non-slip quality, but these are great for people who love books, and I thought that would just be awesome gift to go along with your book. So
it's like the perfect stocking stuffer, and I see it arrives before Christmas. So.
Yes, exactly. So here's another one. And before I introduce the other one, tell me, it says your debut. So this is your first book, right?
Yes, this is my first book, my first poetry collection, and my first book.
Oh, awesome. This is, like I said, this is an amazing piece of work. Here's another gift. Go away, I'm reading. So your book is so powerful. I don't want to be disturbed. So I thought this would be a great gift to have. Isn't this cute?
Yes, it is cute.
It's a small little box. You can put any type of trinkets, your glasses, anything, your cell phones. I just thought it would be another great gift to go with your books. There are other types you can say. Did I say that out loud? A fact of life after Monday and Tuesday. Even the calendar says WTF. Oh my goodness. I'd agree with you, but then we both be wrong. Wow, karma means I can rest easy at night knowing all the people I treated badly had it coming. Wow, so I just like to go away, I'm reading, but you can see there are different types of boxes you can have, but that was my favorite one, the go away, I'm reading. So Nikki, how long have you been doing poetry again? How long have you been writing poetry?
I've been writing poetry since I was a child, but I'd say over the time that I've been writing, I normally just considered myself as just a girl that wrote poetry. I didn't start calling myself a poet into way more recently. So it seems like, and I think we do this often, right? I think that we always are the thing that we become, right? We are the thing that we become way before we're ready to say the words. So I had been writing poetry, but it just takes a lot of courage, I think, to claim to the world that you are a poet. And for me, it came with releasing my work publicly. So when I did my first public performance, I started to call myself a poet. It seemed as if it was premature for me to call myself a poet before I had shared my work with the world. But I think we all may be doing ourselves a disservice when we don't lean into that.
Yeah. So I see a chapter that says haiku for Renaissance children and a haiku for single mother and child. What does that mean?
So haikus are a Japanese form of poetry where there is 5 syllables in the first line and 7 syllables in the middle line and then 5 syllables in the last line. So the haiku for Renaissance children is a poem that is about children that have many different interests. And so I was trying to see if I could quickly find that one. It says, I want to be a scientist, model, dancer. Do not make me choose. So it's this really short poem that just tells about the multi-interest of children and how often parents or systems and institutions force us to choose. And then the single mother and child is emptied bags of trust. Mommy and me carry on store window shopping. So, yeah, that was an ode to single moms.
Okay. I found another cute gift to go with your book.
Yeah.
Let me share that.
I love this.
So here's a bamboo book stand. I just love bamboo, all things bamboo. It just, its quality is sturdy, it lasts. But this is good if you want to read the book on Kindle, on your iPad, and I believe it can hold a book as well. I see
the paper clips.
Yeah, I see those clamps. Yeah, so I just thought it would be a good gift to go with the book. So this is also available. You guys, again, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, go to bit.ly/Galyn. That's GALYN bit.ly/Galyn and join us on Amazon. We are streaming live on Amazon. Did you know you could go live on Amazon?
I did not. So, wow.
Yes. theamazon.com. We are live on Amazon. So if you want to check out these products, come join us. Join us on Amazon, and you can see below the video that we're live streaming. You will see these actual products. You can click on them right below the video and go check out these cute accessories, good holiday gifts for all book lovers, and they would go great with Nikki's book. So the next product I want to show you guys is another cute gift to go with books. This is a USB rechargeable book light for reading in bed. So for those of you who like to read before you go to sleep, who fall asleep reading your book like me, this is a cute light, so you don't have to have the whole room lit. You can have the lights off and still have this cute light so you can read in the dark in your bed. So it's cute for bookworms, kids, and all. And it comes in different colors. You can get this green, this pink one, this white one, and yellow. So they come in different colors. So if you love that, there's a bigger version. So you see how well it lights up the room when it's dark. So you don't even have to have it in the book. You can have it next to the book if you're laying down and reading. So I just thought it was another cute little gift. And here's another one. You can't go wrong with a coffee mug. Bookmarks are for quitters. That's right. Finish the book. And I'm sure with Nikki's book, you cannot put it down. I'm very sure like it's a page turner. But with those poetries and prose, I mean, I probably will read them over and over again. But I just thought this is cute. Who wants to have coffee and tea with your book while you're reading your books? I just thought that was another cute book. So, Nikki, I have another question for you. So, who exactly was your book written for? Like, who did you have in mind? I know it talks about some of the issues you had personally, but you know, who did you have in mind when you were writing the book?
Yeah, I had in mind myself, for one, my younger self, and thinking about what message I needed to hear. So I had that in mind, but more broadly, I also had in mind anyone who had been through hardship, who had been maybe from a background where they were kind of counted out or disregarded, and just speaking life to these people and letting them into my story, and ultimately also witnessing the storms and the rebuilding to give hope to that population as well. And then I thought about, always with my diversity and inclusion hat, the people that don't have that experience, that still need to read about this type of experience and understand the diverse perspectives that we all bring to the table, and the things that I'm bringing to the table when I come into the boardroom. Right. So I thought that it would be great insight for people outside of my community, outside of the Black community, to see this as well and be able to have that insight.
Awesome. So I found another cute gift. Here is just one more chapter pillow.
This is me.
Yes, I thought it was so cute. One more chapter motivational sign, cotton linen home decorative throw pillowcase. It's about 18 by 18 inches, so it's cute and small, and I think it goes great with your book. So you guys, when you're getting Nikki's book, get these other gifts as well that are great for book lovers. So if you want to gift this book to someone, I have her book in the carousel right now. I'm going to feature it so you can see it again. So you can also get these other accessories when you add her book to the cart. You can add these other cute gifts as well. Nikki, I just have a couple more questions before you go.
Oh, sure.
So you talked about the book was basically for your younger self, and for the people who are reading your book, what do you want them to walk away with, knowing, feeling, being, achieving? Like, what do you have in mind?
What I really wanted readers to know is that regardless of where you've come from, how what kind of trauma you may have experienced and how you've been set back or forgotten about or disregarded, that there is so much hope and light on the other side, and that you have the power to create this life if you address these issues head on, you deal with them, and you move forward, that there is thriving after trauma. And so that's the message that I wanted to leave with people. And then also that resilience, because a lot of people see me and they see me in the corporate space and they see me winning awards and they see all of this, but that resilience often comes at a cost. And we don't talk about that cost enough. So I wanted people to see this, to have that transparency, to see this and know that even a story like yours, where there are setbacks and trauma and abandonment, you know, that people will come through that, and you can come through that and not only just survive it, but actually thrive and flourish and have a great career, a great family life. Faith. Talk a lot about faith in the book, because I struggled a lot with that in changing religions and not wondering where God was when all of this stuff was happening to me. And then ultimately coming to the realization that I have now with Christ and with God, and talking through how he was there the whole time, and that love carried me through. So it's a message that I wanted a lot of people to have. I think it'll hit home when people read this book.
Awesome. So how would you describe the flow of the book? Is it something, I mentioned a page turner. Would you consider it a page turner? Is it something you may read one poetry at a time? Like, what's the flow of the book?
Yes. So I consider it a page turner because it's not like your typical poetry collection where it's kind of, you can pick it up and look at a poem, put it back down. It's not a collection in that way. It is a narrative story. So there's an arc, and you'll want to keep reading to find out what happens next and what's the resolution. So I'd consider it a page turner. It's also a pretty quick read if you're reading it through like that. I do think people will sit with some poems for a little while, and revisit. I've heard a lot of people tabbing poems that they're going to revisit because they weren't done with them yet. So I think that's the way that it's structured and meant to read. And then as far as chapters, I have 4 chapters in the book. So it's first chapter is home, which walks through my upbringing, some of the foundational lessons that I learned about life, love, identity, boys. And then it moves on to closets, which are some of the things that we don't talk about, like having suicidal thoughts, like changing religions and the reasons behind why we might change religion, panic attacks and things of that nature. And then we move into hurricanes, which is where you'll hear the stories and experiences and aftermath of the trauma that really rocked me. And this is taking me mostly through college. And then rebuilding is about recovering from those storms and the messy process of pulling yourself together and trying to get back, to bounce back from that. And it goes back to my definition of resilience. It's not a quick, it can be quick, but the way that I like to see resilience is dealing with the issue. So the rebuilding chapter is actually the longest chapter, and you'll see a lot more of the inspirational poems as well.
Awesome. So, Nikki, is there anything that you want shoppers on Amazon to know about you, about your book? Anything you want to say for people who are watching? We have about 4 viewers. SK Davenport on Amazon right now says, "Great message. Thank you for sharing." Is there anything else you want people to know who are watching us live on Amazon?
Yeah, I would say that to know about the book and about myself is that this book is, although it's one story and it's a story about me, it really speaks to the heart, the universal themes of loss and love, identity, trauma, and healing from trauma. So I think that people will find value in that, but then also consider this as not just something that's applicable to women or girls or Black women, but as something that fathers should be reading. fathers of daughters, people that love women. Like, everyone around us should know these stories and know these experiences, especially, when I talk about how it challenges some of the notions around rape culture and how we've kind of not encouraged, but promoted, I'd say, yes, throughout childhood and into adulthood, in some of the ways that we silence girls or tell them to behave or make apologies for boys. And so I think people will find value in that. I think that it's also digestible, which is really helpful for people that are looking for something to read that's entertaining, but not necessarily complicated, where they need a dictionary or an artistic license to interpret. So that's something else I'd want to say. And then also, I think that my ultimate goal is to connect with readers right after this. So I leave my social media information in the book. I have book club questions that accompany the book. They aren't in the book, but they're on my website, free book discussion questions. So it is a book that can live beyond just you and your experience, but really you can gather people around to talk about some of the concepts in the book and the poems. And I wanted to encourage that.
Yeah, so we can have a little book club as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Isn't that you on the cover? Looks a lot like
it is me. I had this wonderful artist from Brazil. I had him design, and I found him on Instagram, but he designed this cover, and I give him credit in the book. He designed this cover, and I really just wanted this metaphor for home for hurricanes to shine through on the cover, where I was embodying the storm. I was the home for hurricanes, and this was his creative interpretation of it, and I absolutely loved it.
Awesome. Yes, I see the storm right there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. So, Nikki, we can find you at Nikki Murphy.
Nikki-Murphy.com.
Okay, yeah. I want to make sure I have it right. So you guys can see it at the bottom, Nikki-Murphy.com. The book is called Home for Hurricanes, a Memoir of Resilience in Poetry and Prose, and it's available on Amazon right now. If you want to watch the replay, go back and look at all the cute book accessories that we mentioned that will go with the book. We did a book pillow, a coffee mug, a light for those who like to read books in the dark. We pretty much covered all types of accessories, even the little cute socks that said, shush, I'm reading. That was my favorite one. So please, you guys, go follow Nikki on Facebook and Instagram at Mrs. Nikki Murphy. That's at Mrs. Nikki Murphy. And Nikki, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming onto this platform. I wanted those who were on Amazon already shopping for books to be able to get to know you and hear your story. So I really, really appreciate them, appreciate you, so they can get to know you. Again, Amazon.com is where we are. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, bit.ly/Galyn. That's bit.ly/GALYN. If you want to catch this on Amazon, for you YouTubers and Facebookers, get on Amazon. That's where we are, where you can purchase the book and all the book accessories. Thank you again, Nikki, and thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Did you have anything else you want to add, Nikki?
I did. I wanted to leave folks with a passage from the book.
Awesome.
So I'll read one of the poems from the Rebuilding chapter. I was debating between one of the poems from the Hurricane chapter or the Rebuilding, but I'm going to leave it with Rebuilding so we can end on a positive note. So this poem is called Whether or Not. It is all I have left to hold on to, the fact that God loves me. Whether I read the holy word or not, sing hallelujah praise or not, perform on stages or in private rooms or not, whether I smile when all that's within me cries, whether I am stone when all that is within me stands, whether sunny or rainstorms, whether I have a good job, money, cars, health or not, whether I am building the country or burning it down, especially when I am burning it down. Whether they call me baby girl or bitch or tell me what I think I am loved. Whether I flip the table or play the hand, I am loved even when I cannot deal.
Oh my gosh. That's so powerful. SK says yay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
That was incredible. Whew. That's
Yes.
just one part of the
That's
book.
just one part, but yes, I like I said, I put my heart and soul and artistry into this book, so I think readers will get a lot out of it.
Awesome. So I'm going to end on that note. I'm not
Yeah.
going to add anything else to it. Thank you again, Nikki. Thank
Thank
you
you for having me.
who are tuning in. You guys, please reach out to Nikki slash -Murphy.com, Home for Hurricanes, a memoir of resilience in poetry and prose, available on Amazon.